Hello and welcome to today's episode of Tea Tactics and Tenacity. I am your host, Jenn Herman with Jenn's Trends, and today we are talking about whether or not you should be putting your TikTok videos your TikTok videos with watermark and everything, onto Instagram for your Instagram Reels. Now, this question was submitted by Kayla, one of the members actually of Profit Your Profile, and a regular viewer here on Tea Tactics and Tenacity. Kayla, hello, she's even here, yay! So we're answering that question today, whether or not you should be putting your TikTok videos with the logo and watermark directly onto your Instagram Reels. We'll be talking about that here on Tea Tactics and Tenacity, which is the live show I do every Sunday whenever I get around to having my cup of tea, depending on the time. It's never a set time. And we answer one Instagram tactic to help you be successful on Instagram. And then we talk about tenacity, things in life, things in business, things in parenthood, whatever is, kind of inspiring me at that time to talk about and share with you. So hello to everybody who is popping on live. We've got Greg, we've got Kayla, we've got Linda, we've got Brands Experts Marketing. Hello everybody for hanging out. So the question that Kayla submitted, like I said, was whether or not you should be putting your TikTok videos directly onto Instagram. And the reason she asked was, she's like, does it work for cross promotion? Where if they can see your TikTok logo, they know you're on TikTok, will they then go over and follow you on TikTok? Is it good for cross promotion? Now, from that perspective, I can see a business case that would be like, well, I want people to know that I'm over on TikTok. Or, we want people to know that, go over and check this out on our Facebook account or whatever it is. So there's incentive to want to do that. But in general, no, you do not want to use anything that has the TikTok logoing still on it and put it directly on Instagram. You can, there's nothing that says you can't do it. You can upload any video to Instagram. But strategically, it's going to be a disadvantage for you. Now, that being said, there's always exceptions to every rule. So let's talk generalized first, and then we can kind of talk a little bit about that exception. So in general, Instagram has got a little bit more lenient, but when Reels first launched and everyone was literally taking their TikTok video and they were just putting it up on IG because they were like, oh, cool, I can just take the same video and just put it over here on Instagram. And Instagram was like, no, you don't. And they blatantly they've admitted it in various capacities, but they will blatantly reduce the reach of a TikTok video. Now, again, this has gotten a little bit more relaxed of late, but because TikTok was the platform and that's where creators were creating content, they wanted people creating content exclusively for Instagram. They didn't want the TikTok logo all over Instagram, obviously. So they would reduce the reach. They would literally say, we are not going to show this video to people because it has the TikTok logo on it. And again, AI is scraping it and they can see the visuals and there's metadata and everything attached to it that says this came from TikTok, and it would not show up in Explore. It would not show up in suggested content. It would not get any additional distribution. It would be minimally shown to your audience. So at the early onset, it was absolutely a no-go. Do not do this because it's going to hurt your reach. Now it's at the stage where there is enough organic, authentic, fresh, original content on Instagram that they're a little less abrasive with how they handle the TikTok content. So you will still get punished. You still won't get into Explore and into suggested photo or suggested feeds and things, but you're probably not going to get diminished with your followers as much as you used to. They're a little bit more lenient with that, but it still doesn't really help with that distribution. So if you have this great video and you put it up on TikTok and it's got the watermark and the logo and everything, and you go and put it on Instagram, it's probably not going to perform well on Instagram. If it's a matter of convenience, if it's one of these, but we did all the editing in TikTok and it is what it is, and we really want to put that video on Instagram, you can. No one's saying you can't. But just don't expect it to perform well. You are not going to go viral on Instagram with a TikTok video. It's just not going to happen. I mean, it could. There's an exception to everything. But from an Instagram perspective, they're going to make sure that it's only fresh, original content on Instagram that is going viral, that's getting the massive shares and distribution. So in general, no, you do not want to take what you have on your TikTok with the logo, the watermark, and put it on Instagram. Now, that being said, of course, like I said, there's always exceptions to a rule. And there may be use cases where you have a huge audience on Instagram. You have a really big audience and you want to move people to TikTok, that you want to get people over there for the cross promotion. And that even if only a small fraction of your audience saw it on Instagram and it got them over to TikTok and built that audience, it could be worth it for you. It could be one of those things where you have diehard loyalist, really like devoted fans on Instagram and only have, maybe 100, 200, 300 fans. Like you may not have a ton of followers on Instagram, but they're diehards. That even with a reduced reach context like a TikTok video, that it would still get distributed to them and it would be able to work for cross promotion. So you could still do it and actually get results from it. So again, there's always exceptions to the rule. However, I would recommend, if you are planning on doing a cross promotion, rather than taking your TikTok video and putting it on Instagram for the cross promotion, I would recommend doing an Instagram reel that says, hey, we're over on TikTok. And then have like your TikTok username or something on there. Don't put the TikTok logo on it. Don't put like any sort of watermarking, but let people know in an original, like just on Instagram reel that you're over on TikTok, because that's going to get more reach. That's going to get more distribution and it's going to be more authentic to the platform, while then telling people, hey, we're over here on TikTok and we'd love to see you over there too. So that would be how I would recommend doing the cross promotion instead, in order to keep that that authenticity on the one platform while still promoting the other platform. So that is the answer to Kayla's question. As I mentioned, this was a question submitted by Kayla as to whether or not you should be putting your TikTok videos with watermarks, logos, and everything directly onto Instagram with the idea of cross promotion. So that was our tactics. For Tenacity today, I want to talk a little bit more about embracing our age, and Kayla, you're very welcome. I'm happy. Thanks for asking the question, and I'm happy that I could answer it here on the show for you. So as I sit here and drink my tea and I notice my gray hair is popping out, I want to talk about embracing our age in business. And this is a much harder tactic for women, I think, than men, but even men suffer it, especially at different stages of their careers. And at all stages of our careers, there's ageism, right? Either you're too young to know anything, or you're too old to be able to, do it in today's day and age. Or you're too middle ground and, you must be busy with a family. You don't have time for us, or whatever it is. Like there's always going to be ageism. I don't care what stage of your career you're at. Somebody is going to judge you for your age. And that I can't fix. I can't make that go away. But what I would like to recommend and encourage all of us to do is to better embrace how we portray ourselves in our business and embracing our age. Because at all stages, we have unique capabilities and we have unique skill sets and we have our, superpowers at all these different stages of our careers. And we often try to minimize those or make it look like we have a different superpower by using filtered or old profile photos. We try to portray ourselves in a way that we look younger or look older. And I say this, I'm 43. I talk about my age all the time. I am not ashamed of it. When I went and got my hair done recently, I specifically told her, I'm like, please don't hide the grays. Like because they're there, they're going to come back in a month anyway. So like, I don't want to have a root line, right? So I'm like, allow them to fade in beautifully. And she did. So like, she hid some of them. She didn't hide some of them. So they're still there because I'm 43. I've got an 8-year-old. I've got gray hairs. I've lived an amazing life. I have tons more amazing life to live. I have so many more life experiences to go through. But I remember when I turned 40, and I remember how excited I was to turn 40 and to finally be taken seriously in business. And I just remember everyone, and I've always looked younger than my age, so maybe it's just an issue for me, but everyone was always like, oh, well, you're too young to understand that. Oh, well, you're too young to remember that. Oh, well, you're too young to have gone through that much. And I'm like, bitch, I'm 39. I'm not 23. And it was like, there was always this constant, you're too young. And so I remember when I turned 40, being able to be like, I'm 40, like I'm gonna get respect. People are gonna have to respect me because I'm finally of like a mature age that people have to respect. And why do you have to respect me at 40 and not 38 or 30 or whatever? But that was like my mentality, is I was so excited to turn 40 and to have people respect me. And I can tell you at 43, people still tell me I'm too young to understand. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm not too young to understand. And even if I was 30, you don't know my life experiences and whether or not I'm too young to understand. Like, it's the way the world is and the way people want to justify their opinions, which again, I cannot change their opinions and their beliefs, but we can change how we embrace and portray ourselves. So, when you do a photo shoot for your profile photos, when you get your makeup done, when you get your hair done, when you do any of these things, do it for you. Don't do it because you want to look 10 years younger. Don't do it because you want to look 10 years older. Embrace who you are at this age and stage of your career and own it. From fashion to hair coloring to makeup to whatever it is. And the same, like I said, same thing goes for men. Men dye their hair to look younger because they don't want to look like they've gotten old, that they're aging out of the industry. Guys who are younger will dress a certain way to look like they're older, to be taken more seriously in a corporate environment or a business environment. So this impacts men and women probably not quite equally, but it still impacts them both. And it's just worth recognizing that at whatever stage that you're at, whether you're 24 and fresh out of college, you haven't been ruined by, the industry that says this is how it has to be done. You're coming in fresh-faced and you're going to find unique solutions and you're going to be the one that changes the way things are done. If you are 60, you have done it all, you've seen it all, you have the experience, you have the wisdom to be able to figure things out because you know how it works. You've been there, you've done that. There's pros and cons to both sides of the argument. So stop trying to look a certain way. The same thing goes in real estate. Oh my gosh, I deal with so many real estate agents. I know we probably have a few on the show here today. I have a lot of real estate professionals in my audience because I do a lot of real estate conferences. And I literally said this at a conference where I was like, and I made a comment about optimizing your profile, and I was talking about that profile photo, and I was like, I said something along the lines of, how no one in this room looks like their profile photo. And they literally all laughed. And I'm like, it's funny because it's true. Because have you ever seen a real estate person's photo and then met them in real life and they look nothing like their photo? Like the quintessential headshot for a real estate agent looks nothing like the person that you actually walk into the office to see or walk into the house to see. And it's so disengaging. It's alarming. It throws up every red flag. Kayla just said catfish. It's total catfish. It throws up every red flag. When you are in business and you communicate online, people learn who you are from that profile photo. That little thing right there that says, this is who I am. And when they meet you in real life and you don't look anything like that, it actually ruins your relationship with them before it's even started. Because now they're like, I don't know if I can trust you. Who is this person? There's no correlation. So whether you're 10, 20 pounds heavier or lighter than you want to be, whether you're 10 years older or younger than you want to be, whether your, hair looks a certain way or your clothes look a certain way, please make sure that you are portraying yourself online the way that people are going to meet you in the real world so that you have that trust factor. And regardless of what that looks like embrace that stage of your life, embrace that stage of your appearance, embrace your age and the wisdom, the experience, the innovation, the fresh-facedness, whatever that comes with the age and stage that you are at, and let people love you for you. Let them want to work with you for you. Allow your expertise to shine through in any other way other than this. And don't worry about how you are portraying yourself as an age. Whether you're 24 or 64, you have all your talents, you have all your wisdom, you have all your expertise, and all your unique, incredible talents that are only going to get better as you get older. and you are going to continue to get wiser and better, but you are going to always be your superpower. So whatever age you're at, embrace it, showcase it, let people see you for who you are. Kayla's saying wise words. I totally agree. And Louisa is saying this is so true. It builds trust. Exactly. It is super important that you are building that trust with who people know, who people see, both online and in the real world. And along that lines, embrace your age for all the genius superpowers that it gives you at this stage of your life. I want to thank all of you for hanging out with me today for Tea Tactics and Tenacity. It's been lovely seeing you on this somewhat kind of gloomy Sunday in San Diego. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend wherever in the world you are, and have an amazing week ahead. As always, if you want to learn more about me and Jenn's Trends, go to jenstrends.com. You can find everything about the profile your profit. I can't even use words anymore. Profit your profile, my membership, my ebook. I've got the ebook on hashtags called Hashtags Unlocked that will walk you through everything you need to know about how to use hashtags on Instagram, even if they change things in the future. That's brand new in February that launched. Or how to work with me, speaking, all those things, everything you can get to from jenstrends.com. Thank you for hanging out with me today. Have a wonderful week ahead. We will see you next week for Tea Tactics and Tenacity with a fresh new question submitted by another viewer just like you to help you be successful on Instagram. Bye, everybody.